president for FIFA? Well, that's the question we pose to you. There are 5 candidates, as you know, and we pose a very important question to you relating to the football body and how that organization can be cleaned up. Who or which one of these candidates that we're talking about will be able to clean up soccer's governing body? You can send us your comments to the Facebook page as well as on the Twitter handle at SABC Newsroom. But for more on the candidates and what we can expect, let's go to Eben.
Yeah, thanks, Elvis. It's pretty much D-Day for FIFA. Let's cross to Zurich now, where our correspondent Dan Whitehead is standing by to give us the latest. Very good morning to you, Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you.
Long-awaited day it is, Dan. Just give us an idea how matters will proceed throughout the day.
Well, it is indeed a long-awaited day. 17 years of Sepp Blatter's reign. As you said, he is now banned for 6 years and he will not be attending the Hallenstadion behind me here, where the FIFA Extraordinary Congress will take place. As we speak, delegates from around 207 countries are starting to arrive at the venue, and they have a big task ahead of them. It is split into 2. Firstly, they must vote through, 75% of those 207 countries must vote through the set of reforms which FIFA has put forward, which it says will cleanse out this organisation and clear it of the allegations of corruption. It looks at restructuring FIFA, how it operates, how the football arm operates, and how the political and monetary side operates, including more power to an ethics committee. The reforms also include the declaration of salaries, so they're not hidden anymore. And also key is a maximum term, 3 terms for any president who is elected, so that we don't see the long reigns which we saw with Sepp Blatter. Now, once those reforms, if those reforms are voted through, then we will then see the voting take place from around about 2 o'clock South Africa time. It is due to begin for the next presidency. 5 candidates, and the 2 front runners are Sheikh Salman of Bahrain and Gianni Infantino. Those are the 2 clear front runners this morning. Both of them indicating that they believe they have more than 100 votes secured of the 207. However, in the first round of voting, for there to be a clear winner, someone has to get 2/3 of votes. So it may well go into the second or even third round of voting to narrow that down to someone who gets a majority of votes by the end of it. But those are certainly the 2 front runners here in Zurich.
Tokyo Sekhwali, the South African candidate, how is his campaign viewed in Zurich today?
Well, a lot of people have, of course, said that Mr. Sekhwali's campaign has been lacklustre and that he hasn't really maintained a sort of a world-level campaign, which we have seen from some of the other key candidates. Mr. Sekhwali, of course, joined us on SABC last night. He did say that he would not be pulling out of the race. I asked him about alliances. He had said that he would be open to alliances, but he wouldn't be drawn on any specifics of that, although it is expected, because he doesn't have any major backing of any of the confederations or associations and federations around the world, that he may well either withdraw or anchor his support to one of the other front runners. So that remains to be seen. But he had meetings well into the night last night with delegates at the number of hotels here around, and it really was key lobbying right through to the end. And that influence continues this morning, because behind me here in the foreground of the Hallenstadion, there are a number of protesters already gathering. And in fact, they are not anti-FIFA protesters. These protesters here are actually one of the candidates, pro Sheikh Salman, and some of the signs which they are holding in front of the passing traffic here say supporting the clean man, in support of Sheikh Salman, one of the front runners. So that is some of the protesters who are already gathering, and there is a police presence there at the front of the stadium. They are expecting not only supporters for some of the candidates, but of course those who are anti-FIFA, and there will be plenty of those protesters gathering throughout the day.
Dan, in conclusion, all FIFA's problems always begin and end with voting processes and acquiring votes. The person that wins today, how do they change this?
Well, that is a key argument, and of course we saw, a bid just a couple of days ago from Prince Ali bin Hussein to try and get this election halted because he had concerns about the voting processes at this presidential election. He wanted clear voting booths along with other measures, and that was dismissed by the FIFA Executive Board. Now, that concern remains, and there are a number of campaigners, including the high-profile group New FIFA Now, who we heard from in my package just before, who say, actually, for there to be any meaningful reform, any meaningful change, FIFA as it is currently, as the organisation, needs to be scrapped. It needs to be taken down to the ground and rebuilt again, because they claim the levels of corruption go right through the entire organisation, and simply a new president will not be enough to reform the World Football Governing Body.
Thank you very much, Dan. The world is watching, and we're certainly watching here in South Africa. Thank you for that update. That's our correspondent in Zurich, Dan Whitehead, giving us an update, of course, ahead of the FIFA presidential elections that is taking place. As he said, the voting process starts at 2 o'clock South African time, and this very channel will keep you updated throughout the day.